Hello everybody and welcome back here to Malts and Meeples. We're doing a Kickstarter gameplay preview here on the channel for Chronofiends. You can see the image up there now. Here is the full box cover that I have from Space Mole Games, Matt Hughes, designer, Patrick Liddell, artist, and thank the team there for the opportunity to do a preview for this one. Now, there is a ton down at the table. I'm going to try and, as we play, have this pulled up. I have a few different shots. Main board, character, kind of area down here. And then, well, that's just back to the main board. So character area, close up on the board, everything all at once. We're going to play a chunk of it up here, but I will zoom in to show off kind of how the game works. So, like I said, this is a game, Chronofiends. This is coming to crowdfunding. I believe coming relatively soon, so I wanted to get this gameplay out. This is a 1 to 4 player game. Now, some things to note: if you're playing one player, you are kind of playing two. You're playing as two different characters, but you'll see on the board I only have a single character standee here in the middle, which I will keep laying down so it's obvious to see where I'm at. And that's just so that I have more additional powers. So over here we have the Yinhi, the Unstuck, and the Omni over here, archival unit number 357. And they have different powers and abilities. So I'm untethered, I can pass through walls. I can't do that to discover a new room. Now, as we start out here on the board, let me pull this back up to here. You can see we have our setup all the way over here. This is a fairly large game. We have different rooms we can explore. We have rooms in here we can explore. And I'll talk about what we're going to be exploring and kind of our objective as we go. But I have these tokens that will allow me to kind of connect rooms. And so these guys kind of connect everything for me. Then I also have the meta looping. Once per loop, you may move through any new or unresolved room as if it was resolved. Normally you have to stop there. So those are some of the abilities over here. Over here we have preservation of knowledge. Place your memory token on any room that contains a Chronofiend. You may start the next loop in that room. So these guys right here are our Chronofiends. They will move around the board depending on what number is rolled. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. But that is specific. Let me show the board again here. That is specific to the orientation of these. So for example, well, these Chronofiends can't actually enter this room or this one. If, for example, they were, and they rolled an 8, this 8 moves them to the next room here, this 8 moves them to the next room here. So it's all about the orientation of that room. So how do we go about playing this game? This game is, here's a few other things you can do. You can spend skill points. So you spend 2 skill points to flip over the top card of any room deck. Go back to the wide view here to show off those room decks. So room decks, because we're doing a specific scenario, we want to know what that is. Once per turn, you may move a skill point from one skill to another, and we'll explain why that matters. And then rapid calculation. In a skill point at 1, 6, and 13 instead of 2, 8, and 16. So normally we get our skill points that way, but because of this, we can go faster with it. So let's get down to the table and start playing the game here. And of course, to do that, let's look at our mission. Sorry, I'm going to have to drop that over here for a second. Let's pop in here. So, our mission, we're doing scenario 2. We're not doing the tutorial scenario for actually one main reason. You can see how large this is on the board. Let's go something for scale here. That's a mechanical pencil. This is a big game. Lots of space that it takes up, and the tutorial scenario takes up even more space. So you can see this is 1, 2 off of this. There'd be a 3 and a 4. So going way off the edge there. Same here. It should fit on the table that I have. It just wasn't going to work as well for filming. So let's go here. And figure out what I want to do first. But as we talk about that, then let's go wide here. Here we have our time track. We start out with 54 total time. And there's one segment that could go on top of there, but you spend time to complete actions in places. So right now I have the ability to go here, 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 or here. Once I pick one of these, I have to resolve an action in there. I'm going to go here. Take it. We flip it. And now I have my choice. I can either spend 7 time to get a weapon or 7 time to get an ally. On the player board here, actually let's show off the room. There's the room I found. On the player board here, I have these stats that go up. The higher they go, the more of a discount I get. So right now, I'm planning on doing... Let's get an ally. So ally, right there. We will get an ally token. All ally tokens are the same, I believe, at this point in time. But ally just says -1 to all encounters. So that's nice. That means we save time. We don't save time this time. So over here on the time track, I move down 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7, I gain an ally. I'm marked that I've completed this. Now, because I do that, we look to see who's the top of the track. Top of the track is the Chronofiend. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They always spend 6. And we look, they're going 3. 3 on the top just goes that way, would loop back, end in the same spot. 3 on the bottom, that way, loop back, end in the same spot. However, they are still ahead of me. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we rolled a 6. So 6 now goes here, and you would follow a looping path line of back to here, but we don't have any discovered rooms at this point that they can go to. So now I have a choice. I can discover a room. I could walk in here. That'd be a bad plan. So I'm going to discover a room, and I forgot to talk about the mission here. Captain Vegas has been using organs and circuits from different alien species to create her own living time travel capable space station. Players seek to arm themselves with the layout of the full station and Hearthseeker protocols. They must then work to outpace the cataclysmic reaction as they disassemble the experiment. So this gives us our original setup, and then we have our goals. So, from Knowledge Truth, bring the training manual, which is in the med bay, which is a location that we can find, likely in this stack here, into here, into a certain room, into the transporter room. Transporter room is going to be in this stack. Then in this stack, we're looking for the station schematics as well. Those are going to be in the captain's quarter. And finally, we have the atemporal field, this one here, which is going to be in that one. So that's kind of our setup there. However, we have to complete this goal as well as an additional goal. After resolving a unique room, one of these, place a scenario token on it to indicate this action, so we can spend an extra 2 time. If we do, we can place what I'm deeming that these are the scenario tokens. We can place it on there to mark that it has been cleaned. And if we have exactly 2 unique rooms from each room deck cleaned, we can continue, or we win, as long as we've completed both those objectives. Now that's going to be a little bit trickier with 54 time. But this first time around, I'm very much in the exploratory phase. So let's explore. Uh-oh. We explored the wrong way for sure. +1 Chronofiend and return to the previous room. So now you can see things are getting worse for me here. That didn't take any of my time though, so it is still my go. Let's do orange again. Captain's quarters. Excellent. We wanted to find the captain's quarters here, because I want to get the station schematics. Now, the station schematics cost a lot of time, but I forgot to do something in here. We did 7, so I go up in one in my talk because we got an ally. So here I look. Actually, do I go up 2? I go up 2. So you can see things become easier as you go. Now, I have a hack of 17. Hack of 17, it's going to make me go up 3, but I still have to spend 17 time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So I'm down to 30 time. But this allows me to get the station schematics. I now have those. I could use it for an ability, but I need it for what I have here. So let's get back closer then to the table here. No, wrong one. Closer then to the table. There we go. And you can see where I'm at now. I also mark that I've taken care of that room. So now I know where the captain's quarters are. I can try and optimize my path there. And like I said, we're going to be looping here as we go. So 3 loops me that way. 3 would loop me here, but I can't go there. 3 loops me that way. Okay, I'm fine there. Now I look. I could go here and see what it is. I can also go here and see what we have. So I know where the schematics are now. I prefer to build this way. Let's grab cargo hold. Now, is that one of our locations? It is. So there's our atemporal field. So we move into the cargo hold here, and it is a hack 19. However, because we already have 3, that becomes a hack 16, and we gain 3 more in hack. I messed that up. I needed to do one more time with these guys. They don't move based off of the 7. Now they match where I'm at. So I spend my energy here. This is going to be tricky. Just these are so expensive, but we'll talk about how that might not be as bad. 16 takes me down to 14. So if I look up here, I'm all the way down here. We go this way. Chronofiends are going to get to go a couple of times, but I'm now set there. So now we finally have the Chronofiends moving a different way. 4 and 4 and 4. So up off the top there. This one goes here, can't get through. This one will go and loop here, can't get through. So I'm okay still. Now I look over here, not much I can do. And I can't add a room. So we're going to pop back here. Oh, hold on. I got to go again. 2. So I am here. They go here. I get bounced back to the detention facility, but the big thing is this time track comes apart. Now, I don't have the full time track set out, and I believe that I should. Basically, it allows you to lose a section first. So we've lost 1 section, which is in the box already. And like I said, I'm bumped back there. 2 on this one will go down to here. And 2 up here, there's nowhere for it to head. Now I should start thinking about how I want to travel here. Let's go to right here. I can either gain a weapon. Oh, I should have, by the way, 2 more time. And I'm still not technically done with their turn yet. So I'm now back here, but it does matter because I look here, 8, this one moves back here, 4, nope, 8, this one moves up here. and 8, this one has nothing to move to over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it does take a tiny bit of getting used to as they go on 1. 1 can't go in the same room. 1, can't go there because that hasn't been revealed yet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. At least that is my understanding of it. So 2. With a 2, that one tries to go that way. That one also tries to go that way. And that one up there can't move. So now it is my go again. I'm going to go up here. I can get a weapon. Now that weapon's going to cost me 7 time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I grab a weapon token. -2 to all alien encounters. I could place this here, but that would then, I'm not set up for the Chronofiends to move enough yet, so I'm not going to do that. I have to remember I can move any direction, which is good. And yeah, I think we're good. We got our weapon. They're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Just don't roll a 1 here. I rolled a 1. I go back here. Now we do officially lose this top one. And I will point out, I like how this is cut. I hope this stays this way. It means that you gain more and more bumps every time, so it makes it easy to put it together. So that's gone. And now I have a choice to make. I could go out and explore again. It might not be a bad plan for me to actually go on 1s, of course. Where's your 1? 1, you can't go in there. 1, you can't go where somebody else already is. So we're set. They're going to get to go once more. But let's talk about what happens when I run out of time here, because that's going to happen real soon. So let me zoom in, trying to do this on my computer as well as, of course, run everything on my computer. So when you reset the loop gets shorter. Let me find where the hell my mouse is. Pop up here just to walk you through the steps. Remove the highest number time track from there, so we can do that. Remove any resolved tokens from every room tile. So when you go into a room, you have to resolve it, but that doesn't stick around between loops. Players return all boosts back to their stock, so that'd be my ally, weapon, temporal field, station schematics. Every character token is taken back to the detention facility. And if somebody had a no sign out there, that resets. But the important thing, as we look down here again, wrong thing, there we go. And as we come down to the player board level, you can see I'm advanced up to here. And that's quite advanced. So if I'm advanced that far, that means my hacks are going to be still reduced. That doesn't clear. And that's how you can win this game. You might have looked and go like, well, we found these 2 spots, but they cost 19 each. Well, this time through, they're going to cost 13 each. And the first one I do at 13 is going to give me an additional 3. So by the end here, especially if I have an ally with me, it's going to cost me way less than that. So I do have the choice now, and I'll show kind of the high level view again here. Once you get down to 10, option to spend time on skill points, 1/2 rounded up. So I could go from 9 to 0, which I'm going to do, because I look at this and go, okay, I need 2 hacks. I'd love to get back an ally. Now I have one here that's in my talk, or I know I have a weapon up there, which I did get for 7, so I should have 2 that I could bump up as well. So I think my plan is going to be I'm going to say that I actually want to go up on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on my talk skill. So I went up on my talk skill. The Chronofiends are going to move. They're going to move to 6. This one can't loop. 6 puts that one over there, and 6 puts that one up off the top of the board. So we reset our loop. Now, remember, what do we do for resetting our loop? We remove the top one of these. So we remove the top one of those. We reset our tokens to the top. We removed our tokens here. The weapon and the ally are gone. And I was still at the detention facility. So I can also move around the skill points too as needed. I need to get these guys to move. So I'm going to go here. And I can go there because of my ability. And I have a hack of 7. Well, I have a -6 to that hack. So I get an ally back. That means everything costs 1 less. And because I am the Omni, I gain 1 skill point for resolving any room in the 1 to 5 range. Normally that would be 2 to 7. So I bump that up. Now I have a -7. That means if I come back here in the future, it's free for me to do. 8. So they're moving towards 8. Start there. That's an 8. Here, that's an 8 there. Can't move that way. 8 there. Well, that's awesome for me because I can come back here now and I want to get back those station schematics. Those station schematics, again, used to cost me 17. Well, I have a -7 to it. Oh. 6. I have a -7 to it, which is going to get me 10 time, which will get me 2 more on this track down here. And so I spend 10. We were there. So I spend 10 for that, and I gain back the station schematics. Now, I'm hoping to roll a 4. No, I'm not hoping to roll a 4. I'm hoping to roll a 5. Yeah, 5's good. I got an 8. Oh boy. So I get bumped back there. I was playing with fire. I knew it. 8 on this one. Tries to go that way. Over there tries to go that way. That is tough having those 2 8s right there because it's going to bounce back and forth between those 2 8s if I roll 8s. However, I don't have to roll 8s. I obviously can just kind of move around other ways. Oh, and that actually cost me 1 less time than I said. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There was their 6 that they spent. I need to find this training manual still. So I'm going to move this way. This way is safe for me. And I can move through anything. So now I can get a weapon that would cost me 7, or I can get an ally that would cost me 0. But I don't believe, and I need to find this again, so pardon me for 1 second. Come on. Allies. Oh, they use a lot of ally words. This is not the easiest navigation, let's put it that way. Some of it's because I'm back a ways on it. Oh, there is no number of maximum allies a player can have at one time. So I'm going to add an ally there to what I have. You can see that down here. I'm actually going to place this right here with this Chronofiend so that I can start there if I want. And it only costs me 0. So because it costs me 0, I don't advance anywhere. But because it costs me 0, let's pull back up here. But because it costs me 0, I don't move from here. Actually, I think it maybe requires a cost of 1 no matter what. But I still get to go again. And now I know where this one is. I don't know where this one is, so I have to start digging through this deck. SP. Now, SP, of course, is going to hurt my brain here for a second. Skill point. Yeah, SP, skill points. So I could spend 11, which becomes 1, to gain an SP on hack, but I'm full up there. My other option here is purple, which I can get a weapon, not bad. I already have -2 on purple, plus an additional -2 there, so that'd be 9. 9 gets me a weapon. Let's do that. And weapons help with all alien encounters. Alien encounters are going to be the purple, the green, the blue, and the red encounters that we do. So that cost me 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And, alright, not much else I can do there. Now they're going to spend 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They're going to go twice before I do. 5, 5 here goes straight up. This wraps, so he comes straight down. Generally, I would believe, and how I'm trying to treat it, is you go top, left to right. And then this one doesn't move because it would go there instead. All right then, so now that we have found that, I almost have enough room to have the mouse nicely on there. Let's go there to see a little bit closer. I've forgotten to do a couple things here. I got a weapon there, an ally there, and ally there. So you have to remember to resolve every room. You can't just sit in a room and redo actions over and over and over again. Now, because that cost me, I forgot, so that cost me 9. 9 gets me 2 points, so we're up higher. But they still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to go to get below me. And they are going towards 7. 7 for the top goes that way. 7 down here goes this way. 7 over here goes that way. 7 over here goes that way. So I still need to find something in a blue room. Let's just pull up another one. I return to the previous room, and we have another Chronofiend. So you can see, like, these Chronofiends are very much time beings, and so that's why they don't reset. We're going to go wider again here, so I can just continue to build up. Let's build there. This is the temporal mechanics. So from the temporal mechanics, allows me to move Chronofiend rooms, or I can gain a chronomat and a point. Well, I do have a discount of 2 on this. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm going to gain a chronomat, and I can place this then to prevent guys from moving around. Now this doesn't stick. That's the downside. I also gain an SP I can use on anything. Let's max out our hack down here, because we're going to need to hack coming up here in the future. So we hack for these two. They cost 9 each. If I can get some allies before I do that, that's great. Right now I could do that. We'll see. Then they move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The big thing is I don't want to roll a 3. There's a 3. So top, down, 3. He moves up, can't go anywhere. 3 over here, moves down, can't go anywhere. 3, that one was going to move there, can't go anywhere. This one, however, moves there. And that's really what I wanted to avoid happening. So we're stuck there. I still have another go. Let's build this. I don't really want to build it up further. So I can go here. That's going to cost me get a weapon. I can have up to 2 weapons. It's just going to cost me a measly 1 time. We have the server room that we go to next. I have a hack 17. That could cost me 5. Let's do that. 5, so we're down to 9. Again, and I gain a CPU module. So that is going to be in this stack. -4 time on all hack encounters. Actually, that's really good to know that's up there, because if I go that way first, hack that, or get that, which is a hack, that's only 7 for me, maybe get an ally on the way up. There are options, but then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8. So that one moves there. 8 over here would move, well, first over here would move down through here, but the temporal mechanics can't be moved into, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know, there's nothing. I'm assuming that this border is what tells me what can and can't be. So let's move down there. 8 here, can't move there. 8 here, moves up there, of course. No, I already moved that one. So we are set here. Now I can keep going, and I'm going to keep going here. Medical bay, there we go. We want the, no. Didn't it say medical bay? Looking here at the directions. Med bay. Coherence. So I think there's some different language wording here. I want to make sure, just looking in here, there's a training room here that has the training manual. So again, this is a prototype, so there are going to be little things like that. I was like, oh, medbay, perfect, that's what I want. No, unfortunately, that's not what I want right now. But I can look at my options here. I have 9 time. Alien encounters are -2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I think my only option is to do the purple, which adds another -4. So I'll go up further. That's a 7 for me. I'm down there. They'll go next, by the way. But I do gain a liaison. Oh, where did they? Which stack is it? Here we go. The Ocean Anatomy book. So that's a -4 to all the ocean stuff. So stuff off the blue seems to really help with those negatives. That's good to know as you play this game. And that's kind of the challenge of this game, is balancing everything out. So, okay, we've done this. We're set there. They roll. Come on, not an 8. 2. 2. Now, if I had this one flipped, this one would have looped there. This one, on the other hand, is going to go here. Starting here, 2 would take me there. Then over here, 2 would take me, actually, takes me there. And here, 2 takes me there. Now, I just have 2 time left. There's not much I can do with 2 time. So I'm just going to spend it to go up. And I think I want to go up on Colokine. Let's do Colokine. So now we lose this one. That one goes away. And I suspect as you play more and more, you'll start to figure out your best strategies. Because obviously we are already running low on time, 30 time. I have the ability, remember, to start here as we clean everything up. This goes away. That does not persist through time because you're really looping. So that goes back over there. We don't have that. This will come off because I used it. At least that's my understanding of it. And then these go away. So I'd love to get some allies back again. But we're starting right here. We start here. I'm going to do the station schematics. It costs me 7. So 7, I have station schematics back, already maxed out here, so I don't go up any further on hack. But could move some stuff around. I'm going to drop my talk down 1, go up on blue more. So we're set there. Then we hit 6. You remember the mantra, don't roll an 8. We didn't roll an 8. We rolled a 1. This one, I'm going to say, pops over there. This one would just loop over to here. This one can't go through there. This one moves here. So now, if I move here for my next action, oh, first they go again. 1. So that one can't go there, that one can't go there. So they're locked in place right now. I think I might actually like to start getting an ally for a cost of 1 to help reduce some other costs. But we'll see here. So here I'm looking at, that was a 17, this is a 19, so 9 points down. And I have the atemporal training manual. Now, some of the trick with this is obviously I start with more time, but because I got hit a couple times early, we started to lose time pretty quickly. If you're playing with multiple people, because right now I haven't even done any of the cleanings. Let's say I'm down 1, 2, 3, 4 more. We'll see how this goes to have cleaned these 2 rooms. Now that cleaning though doesn't stick between rounds, so I don't know that mathematically I can pull this off. Maybe if I had bumped some of my other stats and focused on getting allies to start, say I had done ally there, that no matter what costs 9. That's the rough thing. So let's say I had done ally there for 1. That just reduces that by 1. I mean, I would come out slightly ahead. So these 2 rooms are cleaned. And now we have to, of course, roll for these guys. 6. 6 is this way. So it loops back. Well, first, like I said, try and stick with a consistent pattern. He bounces there. We lose this. So I think that's going to be kind of the end. And you can call it when you think it's the end. You don't have to play it out until all of these are gone. Sure, you could, but it's not necessarily going to be the best plan or the best use of your time. So let's talk about the game itself. What works, and obviously this is a preview. I'm going to say, just remind you, this is a preview. They asked me to do this for them. So I'm going to talk about this game, like what works well for me. First off, I like the fact that the aliens are all different. I used, in this case, the untethered, and the ability of the untethered to go through the walls. I didn't use that the first loop through the time, but that was very useful. And then this one, spending skill points, is useful as well, because you get skill points faster. I think flip over the top card of any room deck. That just lets you know what you're getting into. So that's a solid thing as well. I like the level up system too. They do a good job of something that I think time stories, and I'm going to compare this to time stories I talk about. I think that this does, I think, a neater job than time stories does in terms of leveling up abilities. You level everything up because it's all kind of knowledge based. And when you loop, that doesn't change. In time stories, when you would loop, sometimes you had interacted with something and that caused it to reset. In this game, it's the reset of the rooms. You have to deal with each room again. But because you're getting better at everything, that goes faster and faster. And I think there's also just, I like the variety. I like the different abilities here too, as we look at like the Hearthseeker uniform. -2 to all talking encounters. Universal Translator. May use talk for any alien encounter to gain an ally. Makes sense. The Gnook Codex. You may spend another player's time to resolve a room with their permission. So that lets you kind of balance out your time a little bit more. Or if somebody, for example, came across this room with a 19 challenge, and they're like, well, I want to do the 19 challenge, and then you say, well, you're already a ways down there. If I move down, we're going to trigger the Chronofiends a couple times in a row. Let me use your time. I think there's some good strategy there. So let's talk about then the solo play of this game. Now, the solo play is going to do two things that are kind of different than the regular game. The first thing is, as you saw, I have the two different character sheets. I don't have two different characters, but the two different character sheets, so you gain more powers. That's to help kind of balance it out. Then you also have the additional time. And with that additional time, it theoretically allows you to stay around longer. Now, I say theoretically because we saw it. You can burn time pretty quickly. I think there'd be a reason to say let's build out in other directions, but like a good game where you're thinking about kind of your efficiency puzzle, you know that if you build out too many directions, you're not going to be able to get between stuff. So that's a challenge in and of itself as well. Now, overall, as a cooperative game, I think that it is a fairly simple system to play. I say a fairly simple system to play because it's mainly just with this one die. And it's working off of that time track as you go. So I think that that works well. And it doesn't require much thought. You just have to know that you're starting top across and work that way. You could really pick any orientation for that. You could say we're starting in the bottom and moving up if you wanted to, because honestly, as a solo player, that might be easier for me to do because that's just right there. So there's a lot that works well for a solo gaming experience and for that cooperative gaming experience. Would I play this true solo versus two-handed? And I'm not 100% sure that I would. And that's maybe one of the things, like my feedback on this game, and that's not a negative feedback, by the way. It's just that I think having two different characters, it increases the risk of getting hit by these Chronofiends, but it allows you to cover ground faster. So, in the case of where I left the game off here, I have my guy in the middle. Well, if I had another guy, let's just say it's this token, for my Omni, I could start here, and I could start one in the middle, and I can immediately divide and conquer. And I think that that is something that you maybe miss in solo, in the true solo, but it is so simple to run each of these characters and track what's going on with them that I have to play this two characters just myself. So I appreciate this level of complexity for it. And I appreciate that it has this level of accessibility to it where it feels like a pandemic weight cooperative game, but it also feels like you can tailor what you're doing maybe a little bit more so. In pandemic, you're often, just comparing it to that, like you're often stuck with whatever you draw. Whereas here, we can say loop 2, assuming we've only lost that first time segment, we can say we don't have to worry about going after those things. And honestly, that's probably one of the mistakes I made in this playthrough, as I'm still getting used to the system, is I went after that captain's quarters to get the station schematics. I shouldn't have. I should have gone down in the same area and explored these blue until I found the spot where I can get the training manual. Because once I know that, I know my pathway. I know my direction to victory. And that is cool for this game. Because you can plan more and you can say, I'm not going to go for a goal. I'm not going to spend time to sterilize some rooms like is important in this scenario. Because all I care about is figuring out where these rooms are. That's the first time through, maybe even the second time through, is just a race to figure that out and trying to avoid the Chronofiends. And then once that's done, then it's the strategy of how do I get everything I want. Now the Chronofiends were jerks and really spent a lot of time in the spots that I wanted to go. But that's part of the game, and that's part of the challenge of the game, is maybe how, when they move off, can I place a blocker there? Can I get there, place a blocker, a chronomat, and keep them from being able to bounce back and forth? So there's a lot of good stuff about this game. I think that it's going to be a fun game for a lot of people because it's going to feel different. If I were to say one negative of the game, is it's a table hog. Like, you saw how much it is on the table. I had out my pencil here, handy dandy pencil. One of these squares is slightly shorter than my mechanical pencil. Or not squares, octagons. Octagons with a nub is fairly large. Now, it makes it easy to see The text is easy to read, and so that's all a good thing. The negative of that is more just be conscientious of the amount of space that it's going to take. I don't think that should be a deterrent from necessarily backing this game if the theme seems interesting to you, if you like this idea of time travel and spending your time to explore spots so that you can then try and solve for that spot. I think that that's a great thing to play around with. But also be aware, this is probably not a game that you're going to be apt to take to somebody else's house. It doesn't look like it should take up that much space with the box it has, but when you lay it out, it takes up a lot of room. So you need to be aware of that table presence for it. But those are just some of the quick thoughts I have on this. I'm going to write an article for Chronofiends and kind of give my full preview thoughts, highlight the elements, and really dig into the elements that really shine about this game. So you're aware of that when you look at the page. So you understand if those elements are going to be ones that you love for the game, and you know if it's right for you. And I will applaud them. Like, they give you a lot on this table, between tokens, rooms, and stuff like that, without giving you a ton of plastic. So I'm not fully sure what their final design is going to look like, but with these standees, with these Chronofiends like this, it works. It's nice not to be looking at a bunch of gray minis for me. I love my gray minis. I have a lot of gray minis. But if this can be more accessible, because that's really the weight it is, because it doesn't have a lot of minis, then that's an awesome thing. So, I mean, that's a bunch of thoughts on it. You gotta see how the game played, how the system works here, and I'm gonna talk about it and highlight it more, like I was saying, tomorrow in a preview article over on nerdologist.com. This video will also be in that article. If you enjoy this content, please give the video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and click that notification bell to know when new videos come out. I try and do videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. On Fridays, that's going to be when my wife and I are playing through BG3. We're in Act 3 now. So catch up on that and join us live about 9 p.m. Central Time every Friday. The best way to know when we go live is to click that notification bell, because that's going to let you know for sure. And you can find me other spots around online, obviously nerdologist.com, which I just mentioned, but also I have a podcast, 10 Minute Marvel. You can find that here on YouTube by searching for 10 Minute Marvel or 10 Min Marvel, and you can find that podcast wherever you get your friendly neighborhood podcast from, which it's worth checking out, I think. Obviously I'm biased if you're a Marvel movie and comic fan. But with that, bottoms up.